5 years, can you believe it? You and I sat in your office 5 years ago, and it doesn't seem like 5 years ago, Dr. Gullickson.
It surely doesn't. It surely doesn't. But it's been a lot going on in those last 5 years. We had COVID. We grew in enrollment tremendously. We've hired a lot of new people because of that. We've done a lot in terms of social justice and racial justice. We continue to have great conversations that really reinforce our commitment to First Amendment rights. And we've also raised some money along the way, too, because people in the communities we serve are so generous. So, yes, it's been 5 years. I had a new granddaughter during the 5 years.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool.
Maybe that should be our headline.
Yeah, really. Little Matilda, and she just turned 4. And it's just been a great 5 years. And you haven't aged a bit.
And neither have you. That's the one thing about us. Well, and you came from the West Coast.
Yes.
And I remember you kind of chronicled your journey east.
Yes.
And so it was a big deal from you. You didn't know much about here, and we didn't know much about you.
I didn't really know anyone here. I had my daughter and her family in Baltimore at the time, and our son was in the Navy at the time, stationed out of Norfolk. But no, I didn't know anybody. And it was really an adventure, and really, for my husband, quite an adventure, because he was living until we moved in the state that he grew up in. And I just think it was a big move for him, but he loves golf, and you can golf a lot more here than other places, so he's very happy to be here, too.
Well, the first thing, when I was thinking about this, it just seems like Germanna presidents all seem to deal with have all had to deal with just such major things. And boy, COVID for you, I'm sure when that first started, when you realized the scope, had to be kind of scary.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's just the job of community college presidents and university presidents. There are a lot of projects and publics that we have to serve and be aware of. I remember, Tad, when we decided to go home in March of 2020 with COVID, closing my office door and seriously wondering if I would be alive to open it. That's the state that I was in, and I don't think I was alone.
No.
And it was really a time of concern for our students and for our faculty and staff, and really a time of unknowns. It was transformational in many ways.
And you came out of it stronger.
We did come out of it stronger, but not trauma-free. I think many of our students and our faculty and staff still have trauma from COVID. There's still COVID in our area. Our students lost out, those who were in high school lost out on almost 2 years of education in person, and lots of new kinds of concerns around how do we keep everyone safe and still deliver quality education. But we were able to do it. And the reason we were able to do that is that our faculty and our staff just became the most innovative crew around. Our faculty went through hours and hours and hours of professional development to learn to be better teachers online. They just didn't put their stuff online and say, have at it. They said, how are we going to do this in a way that will meet the needs of all of our students? Our services had drop-in appointments. We actually have more service hours now than we did before COVID because we use virtual appointments a lot, and frankly, that's what our students want. So we've learned, we've grown, we just get better.
The other thing I remember is you made the decision. You made the decision right away,
yep.
And you were firm with it. And at the time, no one really knew what to make of it. But you decided right away. We're shutting down, and this is how we're doing it. And it turned out to be the right decision.
Well, I had been reading extensively about it because there was so much misinformation and lack of information that I read everything I could about it, as did my leadership team, the cabinet, and together we decided this was best for students and for our employees, and I think it was the right decision.
We see so much about how, and I always think of, when I read the stories, I think of Germanna, we see so many other community colleges in Virginia and nationwide struggling financially and to fundraise. you touched on this a few minutes ago. Germanna has done well.
Well, you know, I've been thinking and reflecting on this myself, and much of it has to do with the fact that we are good managers of the public money. We really understand that it's Aunt Sarah paying taxes that allows us to do the education that Aunt Sarah expects us to do. And so we have to do it right and with a steward's mind. The other thing I will tell you, and this is something that's occurred to me recently, is Germanna is a reflection of the communities that we serve. And the communities in this part of Virginia and this part of the country are extraordinary. They want what's best for students, they want what's best for the workforce and employers, they want what's best for their communities. And so if you get that clear kind of directions from your communities, then you know what to do, and it's much easier to make some of those tough decisions as well as the good ones. And people recognize that we are beholden to them, and in many ways they feel beholden to us too and are generous in their donations.
Another key thing in the last 5 years, the whole equity, that whole thing. And again, you were up front and very decisive.
We are committed to equity for all. And that's a really important thing nowadays. And it while some see it as a controversial statement, I see it on two levels. First, we are paid, again, by Aunt Sarah to educate the people that she has in her neighborhood. And if we don't commit to educating all people, then we may miss some. The second, frankly, is the workforce demand. We need highly educated, highly trained, highly credentialed people for the workforce. You know, we're going to retire someday and go to our great beyond, right, Ted? But someday. But the reality is we have to have enough people to replace our efforts, and to do that, all means all. And so we're committed to educating all students for the benefit of all of our communities.
Big honor for you from Virginia Business, and I have not seen you since that all happened, but congratulations. That was exciting to read, and I was so proud.
Well, thank you, Ted. I was pretty amazed when I got the word. And the other thing that was amazing to me is I didn't know who else got the award, but there are at least 5 of my friends who got this honor as well. And I can't imagine being in better company. They are committed to their jobs. They are honest and gracious and wonderful, strong leaders. And so I think I'm just in good company. I'm going to ride on their shirt tails.
Well, I know one of the things that you were proud of and have latched onto is just the fact that as the first female president of Germanna Community College.
Yes. Well, that was interesting to me because I think I said in the article it was strange to me to think about being the first woman president, having been president in 2 other states. On the other hand, I see now that our chancellor, who just retired, Glenn DuBois, made a concerted effort to hire more people of color and more women. And because of that, because of him giving me the opportunity, I was able to come here and be the first. What a thrill.
Was it at some point in the whole interview process, you must have decided and just thought, I really hope I get this?
Oh, it was after the first interview. Oh, I can't believe it. I went to Richmond. I flew to Richmond for the first interview, talked with the committee, which included some of our local folks as well as some people from around the state. And I was blown away by the quality of the education. And so my husband said, oh, go out there just to the interview, come home, you know. I went home and I said, oh, honey, I got to get this job. Because it was, there's something about the welcoming and generous nature of Virginians that really resonates with me, and it allows me to be more welcoming and more generous myself.
Well, as much smiling, and you are such a welcoming person. When we first did our interview, I'll have to go back and look at it, but I just remember just feeling that you were just a warm person.
I was so nervous. I thought, oh no, he's going to ask me stuff and I'm not going to know the answer, and he's going to shake his head and go, oh. But it was a great interview, and I think that's testimony to your ability, and you too are a reflection of the communities we serve.
Well, I appreciate that. The other thing I guess we'll wrap up on is just the fact, the one thing I have trouble keeping up with all the partnerships that Germanna does, and that in the end, boy, sure helps the students and gives them options.
Well, this may not surprise you, but I did my doctoral paper, my dissertation on partnerships. I am 100% committed, yes.
Okay, that answers some questions.
Literally wrote the book. But we have partnerships with Dahlgren, we have partnerships with Quantico, we have partnerships with our high schools, we have partnerships with our workforce agencies in the community, and we have partnerships with our university partners. And all of those are geared to helping our students achieve more in less time, with less expense, and with less hassle. And every one of our partners is committed to turning out a kind of student from Germanna that meets the workforce needs, as well as at the cheapest price we can do in the highest quality.
Mary Washington is the latest.
Yes. Mary Washington, we're signing that agreement next week, and I can't say enough about Troy Pano. From the minute Troy Pano and I met, we knew we'd be good dancing partners. And sometimes I lead, and sometimes he does, but our students love Mary Washington, and I'll tell you the quality of education that they get at Mary Washington, the ease of transfer we've created. Our College Everywhere program, which is a one-year program all online, now has another counterpart, advanced years at UMW. It's just been an amazing opportunity.
And you've created the opportunities through these partnerships where students can go into the workforce and not go in with huge debt. Because if you go in with huge debt, it limits
absolutely
kind of what you can do.
Absolutely. And so we have in Virginia right now great financial aid programs around career education, particularly pre-nursing, pre-engineering, childcare, police, all kinds of areas, business, that allows students to attend college really free. And those that commitment from the Commonwealth is one that's allowing us to leverage and make education affordable for all.
Well, as higher education changes and everything is changing so much, Germanna is a leader, because you have gotten in, whether you do go and get an associate's degree, or whether you get a certificate, no matter anything in between, Germanna's there.
Well, thank you, Ted. I have a preview of something to come. So we are working to have work-based learning in every diploma, degree, and credential we offer, so that students get paid, hopefully, on internships, job shadowing, doing the work, practicum, clinicals that they will end up doing, so that we prepare workers who know what employers want and are committed to what our community needs. And I'm so excited about that. Heavy lift, but our partners will help us.
Well, Dr. Gullickson, I appreciate the last 5 years. Look forward to what's ahead with you and me, and thank you for just being so accessible and talking to the community like you do.
It's a privilege. It's a true privilege. Thank you, Ted.